But next, guys, we have the Mashal, Magic and Muscles, season 2, episode 10, episode titled "Wahlberg, Bygone, and the Greatest Danger." So during this episode, guys, Wahlberg gets to show off some of his true strength, some big boy moves. But Innocent Zero seems to have some Batman level contingency plans. Like we're talking Batman with a lot of prep time here, boys. Um, it's kind of crazy. I was a little disappointed with this episode. Well, the results of it. The episode was pretty cool. But to start, um, Mashal opened the episode by breaking the fourth wall, super heavy, with Rio saying that Neri needs to say things before the narrator to be truly cool. Because they're like, yeah, it's taking us a long time to get over to the stadium. That was just before. That was just after the narrator said it. I thought it was pretty cool, but Maxwell hasn't done the fourth wall break yet, have they? That was their first time, right?
I want to say that it's not their first time, but they don't do it often. I think they only do it. I think they've only done it a handful of times, but I can't back that up. So you may be right, is what I'm trying to say.
Got you, got you. Yeah, I don't remember any other time, but I was very surprised. If they've done it before, they did it. There was enough of a break for me to forget because it's not like Rick and Morty or something where they do it every other episode or
Oh
like
yeah.
twice a episode. Because then it becomes played out. So
I feel like some of it may get lost too because that's the type of show that this is, you know? So
yes, yes. I mean, but I also didn't remember who Cell War was, so they definitely could have done this before. Speaking of Cell War, he they ended up dragging him back to the stadium where the students were, and they were about to interrogate his ass. And I thought shit was about to get gruesome, my boy. I thought it was about to get nasty. And he ends up getting protected by a force field and transferred away. And what the other Divine Visionaries are saying is because that kind of reveals that one of Innocent Zero's crew is lurking around the stadium. And next came a really interesting moment where Calda apologized for not being able to help Wahlberg. Do you really think he could have helped? Like any of those people could have helped Wahlberg against Innocent Zero?
I think it's one of those things where anybody but Wahlberg and probably Mash, right? Because Mash
Hmm.
is the MC or whatever. He's does what he wants basically.
Right.
But I think it's one of those situations where if anybody else came to help, they would just kind of be in the way. So
That's what I was thinking.
yeah.
That's usually how it goes, at least in anime. Um, if I'm about to fight somebody, I want all my friends to jump them too. But that's real life. No, I'm joking. Y'all. I don't fight. I don't fight y'all. We're very mild mannered people over this way. But yeah, I didn't think. I was like, what is Calda really thinking he's gonna do here? We got people bending space and time, and who are you?
Yeah, what are you gonna do, my man?
Like, get the fuck out of here, dog. Um, but moving on to the fight between Innocent Zero and Wahlberg. I really thought Wahlberg, after the last episode, I thought he might cook. I thought he might cook a little bit. And it ends out he pulled a Russell Wilson.
Oh no.
It ends up getting cooked because Innocent Zero seems to have like a distinct advantage with the time magic versus the space magic. And why do you think he even had like I forget the master's name at this point? Why do you think he had him fight? Wahlberg had him. Sorry, Innocent Zero had Wahlberg fight him first. Do you think the point of that was?
Uh I either so I think it's either just to make him sentimental or the more likely option was to see how strong he had become or see if he's still as strong as what he used to be. Basically
Mm,
gauge his strength, you know?
okay, yeah, that makes sense because he did say during this episode, Innocent Zero did say during this episode that, oh, you really haven't lost a step, even in your old age, even though they're probably about the same age. But yeah, like I thought that was really interesting. He did that. I thought it was maybe for a mental debuff too. 'Cause
Yeah,
having to
yeah.
having to kill your master, somebody you, like, love was I'm sure that's not easy, but Wahlberg, he was straight.
Every time the master comes on this the screen or whatever, and they say their name, Adam Jobs, I'm just thinking like, is this supposed to be like a parody to like Steve Jobs? You know? I mean, that's just what I'm thinking. I wonder about that. So
That's the only other person I know with the last name Jobs.
yeah,
Yeah,
plus
beats
Steve
me.
and Adam, that's kind of the same, right?
Steve and Adam?
Yeah, it's your basic, like name like that, English name,
Oh, okay.
Steve and Adam.
Oh,
So
I see what you're
yeah.
saying. I see what you're saying. I was about to say, don't pull your back reaching that far, but you saved yourself.
So I had to do something with it. Like, I don't know about you, but like the past few episodes of Mashal has been like really great. We
Yes,
had like
I
one of
agree.
the best fights in Mashal, and then we had like a really great episode the last few weeks. And
Mhm.
then we come along in this episode, and I'm not even lying, bro. I thought this was so boring. Like, I was falling asleep watching it.
This episode?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I guess it's because they're supposed to be fighting or whatever, but they're not really fighting. It was like it felt like the whole episode was talking about not like useful stuff.
Oh, okay,
Did you
okay.
feel that or not, or was I just tired or some shit?
Man, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it
Oh,
was pretty
okay.
solid. You might have been a little tired, but I mean, regardless, you might have been.
maybe maybe I was tired. I guess.
I thought it was pretty good though. I really did.
Okay.
Cause like we got to see like some high level magic here, that we hardly ever get to see, and we got to
Yeah.
see like the height of magic power with Wahlberg here.
I was awake during those moments. I enjoyed them.
Okay, okay
I was
then.
just I was just, fading in and out,
Maybe
like
you were just a little sleepy, friend.
I was like,
Maybe you
"Oh,
were just.
shit, things are going down right now, okay."
Man needs to drink a coffee before he watches MASH next time. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I thought it was a really solid episode. I really enjoyed this episode overall. Um, but yeah, with Innocent Zero, I mean, just clearly having the upper hand this entire fight, he saying that Wahlberg hasn't grown as strong as himself because he likes to protect everybody and make sure everybody likes him. And really, he's just abasing himself. He's holding himself back for the sake of others, um, which I think can be true. I think people do that in real life. I really do. Um, they try not to shine. Have you seen somebody do that before, or think that's true
Um,
in some way?
I do think it's true. Uh, I mean, you see it probably more in anime,
Hmm.
um, especially like shonen and stuff, like people kind of holding back in order to protect other people because for one thing, like if he like really goes hard and like I guess trains to be the best version of himself, then maybe it warps him too, right? You never know, so maybe that does like a damage on his psyche or whatever. So
Yeah, and like I thought it was really interesting. Um, I mean, I've seen people like abase themselves in one way or another. Like even people like that I work with is like, dang, like if this person like wasn't trying to like just fit in, it'd be so much better. I think they get a lot farther in life. Even people like that I know personally, I think the same thing. But in this situation here, normally in anime, you get stronger when you're trying to protect people. It's usually how that goes.
yeah, unless you're gonna die, which you know I think we've kind of thought that he was gonna die for the last few episodes,
Oh
right?
hell yeah! Oh
So
hell yeah! Because you have
um
like Uranus and what was it, Mars or whatever it was.
yeah, and plus you like this is the only person kind of fighting for Mash, kinda, right? And so
Right.
like this is Mash's like if Wahlberg dies, this is Mash's power up arc. This is his reason. His reason to power up, you know? So,
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. But yeah, Wahlberg. I mean, we knew he was cooked. We knew once we looked at the mythology like 3 weeks ago, we were like, oh, like okay, Innocent Zero's gonna kill Wahlberg. That's how this shit goes. But we didn't know that they were if they were gonna stick to the mythology. But I think we had our finger on the pulse there, at
I
least.
mean, it doesn't really make sense though to like finally get to see Innocent Zero and then just kill him off in a few episodes, right? Like he's here to stay. He's like the big bad of the Mashle world. Like it doesn't make sense to kill him off as soon as he gets shown, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't.
So,
Yeah, it would make zero sense. But kind of moving on a little bit, as we get a flashback of Wahlberg's childhood and to start discover that he was kind of like a weak and frail, shut-in guy with like zero confidence. He didn't want to deal with other people, didn't care about other people. And did this do like a good job of explaining why Wahlberg was the way he was as an adult, as an old man?
mm, that's a
Because we also
very
got
good
to
question.
see Adam Jobs or whatever his name is.
Yeah, so no, I'm not really. So I can't 100% recall what exactly happens in this flashback. I think it was one of those times where I was a little bit out of it,
Hmm.
but you know, it did surprise me that he was weak, frail as a kid, and he grew into being as strong as he was. It's almost like his mentor raised him up. Is that kind of how the flashback went?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would assume. And you know, then you got him not even like using his magical powers or whatever, and he's only using the staff's powers and stuff. So maybe some of it's still kind of true today. Maybe he ain't got it like Innocent Zero has it, but he's got enough of it, you know?
Yeah, true, true, true. I mean, because I mean, he's still extremely strong, um, and like he still has to understand how to control his staff,
Yeah.
right? And he's picking his times to let the staff do its own thing versus him doing all the spells. So
I mean,
I think it's just
smart.
yeah, I think he's just like you said, he's working with what he has.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thought it did a pretty good job of like explaining like who he is and like why he believes in the strong must protect the weak because that's what was done for him, and without that, he wouldn't be there doing this. So he knows he can foster like an environment to like where weak people can be strong, come strong all over again, continue the cycle, which I thought was dope. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, with like that renewed vigor he gets from the flashback, typical shonen shit, right? And Wahlberg unleashes quote the epitome of magic unquote, which is a spell called Space Thirds Uranus Inclination. And he dude creates a realm of magic that that kind of exists in space to where he can cut off any magical spells that Innocent Zero can do. So he thought. So he thought. So he's getting pieced up. A piece of his arm gets taken. Half of his face is aged to 1,000 years old. It's crazy. It's going crazy. And as Innocent Zero is like trying to kill him, he ends up, saying that performing a spell that Wahlberg ends up loading in his wand, and it can cast on its own even with Wahlberg dying. So Homeboy ends up on a suicide mission, bro. From the
Yeah.
get go, he knew this was gonna be a suicide mission.
Which is wild, but like I said, we kind of got the vibe on this was happening, but I kind of thought that Wahlberg was like running this shit right now, you know, when he pulled out this the thirds or whatever. So, did you get that feeling?
I really did think that he was just about to like blow this dude away, but then he pulled something to where like, oh yeah, if this works, I fucking die. Like I'm gonna use all the magic within me and just one last attack.
Yeah, it seemed like he was gonna like die and take him with him kind of deal. And that's what it seemed like to me, especially when they showed like the blinding light or whatever.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, he's
He did.
really doing it right now.
He
So
just pulled a Majin Vegeta type shit,
yeah. So
but hopefully it was successful, which it was not. Um, but like they've said it before this season, it's like magic's kind of like rock paper scissors. It seems like Wahlberg's magic was strong against his masters, but Innocent Zero's is strong against his.
okay. That's
Yeah, so
interesting.
it's very. I mean, these at least at this high level, it seems very rock paper scissors like. Um, but going off from there, I already thought Wahlberg was like gonna get his lick back, but then I was like, everybody's seeing it. I don't think he's. I don't know about all that. Um, but to go ahead and get to the end of the episode here, kind of Mash comes in last minute and saves Wahlberg from getting stabbed through the forehead, which is a terrible place to stab somebody that's fucked up. Um, Closed casket type deal. But with a knee to the face, Mash comes in. And I gotta ask you this. What do you think Mash is standing on in midair, bro?
Bro, I had the same question. I had the same question. I'm like, these guys, we've seen this whole episode. They're literally floating in the air. How did Mash get up there for one? Like, how is he staying up there? Which I mean, we don't get to see his legs, I guess, and we know from first season he was able to fly or hover in the air by kicking his legs, kind of like a hummingbird type deal. So, you think he's doing that shit or
I
no?
was thinking maybe, but they didn't show it to us on purpose, so I'm hoping it's something different this time.
Yeah, I just don't know what it would be. It's you know I would like that was a really cool scene. I think
Hmm.
before I started thinking about all that stuff because he come up and he like flash he kind of hit back with the you remember what I told you when you asked me what I was going to do if I faced a strong opponent that I could not beat or that was more powerful for me or whatever
Hmm.
and he's like I told you I knocked the stuffing out of him. I'm like, bro, this was so cool,
Until
and
you
you had
said
to
that
ruin
shit.
it, bro.
Yeah. Like, be quiet. But they could have also been trying to like preserve the coolness somewhat with not showing him kicking the air while all this is going down, which makes sense. But we'll see. We'll see next episode.
Yeah, we got 2 more episodes of Mashle, so we're gonna see what's going on. We're gonna see
Hmm.
if our man Wahlberg lives to tell the tale. So